I think they should be aware of trade-offs. They should be aware of consciously monitoring policy. They should at least be prepared to work with a multi-tiered system, if, in other words, a lower minimum wage for teenagers than for adults. I think this is particularly advantageous because being in work for a year is very important to escaping from a wage that is as low as the minimum wage, so that if people don't have the opportunity because they're frozen out of the market, it can have serious consequences. So I would say be very careful of the trade-offs, monitor and set potentially separate rates for lower skilled workers, because I think if there is one consensus, it is that the minimum wage, the higher the minimum wage that is set for low skilled workers, the more serious the consequences. And so things that you can do to improve the situation or alternatives to improving the lot of low-wage workers who have major unemployment anyway. I mean, the lowest skilled workers may have an unemployment rate of 20% when the national unemployment rate is, say, 7%. You don't want to exacerbate that problem. You must do all you can to get those people into work rather than to freeze them out. And so I think it's potentially very dangerous to fix a high minimum wage for the least skilled workers and experiment, monitor, set lower rates. It may be that society has something of a lack of choice with the decline of unions. The decline of unions has been associated in many people's minds with an increase in inequality, and there is some support for minimum wages to buttress collective bargaining. I think that is a natural thing, but it's also a dangerous road to follow. But it lies behind the German minimum wage, for example, the decline in unionization as some form of buttress support for the system from some external support for a domestic system of collective bargaining. That takes us into a totally new area, the effect of unions on economic performance of a country. But it is a powerful political influence, I think, on establishing minimum wages where they didn't exist before.